He's been forced to think about
apparently,
it.
I did screwed up. The correct clip isn't in there for that.
That's
but
fine.
let me tell you, he told us that Petr Mrazek's going to be out for 6 weeks, that he was upset that he was getting traction here, that he was playing well, and now he's out for 6 weeks again. He's getting a second opinion. I summed up the clip.
Do we have the one?
We do.
On
We
his
have everything. We have
confidence in
everything else.
goaltending? Okay, let's go there. Or do you want to weigh in on that?
Well, I don't care. Go to a Clippers.
All right, confidence in goaltending.
Go to a
Sheldon
Clippers
Keefe.
Clipper.
Let's start there.
Well, Shalgren's done a great job. He's won big games for us. He comes in the other night on the road against the Boston Bruins, with lots of game left, and it's a tight game at that point. And beat Carolina in here. I mean, he's won some big hockey games, and he's done really well. I think he's gaining confidence. The more comfortable he gets here, obviously Jack is right on the cusp of returning, and looks really good. So from that sense, we feel good. Most importantly, at this point for me, as I've been talking about all the way through this season, and certainly the last little stretch, it's just how I'm focused on how we play as a team. And when we play like we have been playing, it gives, no matter who's in goal, a great chance of success, and we've seen that here of late.
Yeah, he's pissed. he is. But, since his comments way back on soft and purposeless, he's been incredibly positive and reinforcing for a very long stretch here.
But you know what sucks is I've also felt him get away from what felt like a lot of honesty to like doing the right thing. He's saying the things that won't blow up now, which is, I don't want that. That's no good for Kyper's Clippers. Because really, what's he really thinking,
Either
Kyper?
way, we go underneath the surface. You know that.
Yeah.
We're the first ones to say this is what he's really thinking.
And what he is really thinking is Petr Mrazek can go catch the next train back to Prague and not come back.
So, Sammy, you put out on your Twitter feed
to my 200 followers
at Superfan Sammy. What is your address?
Sam A. McKee on Twitter.
Sam A. McKee on Twitter. You had a poll, and in the poll was, do we think that Petr Mrazek has played his last game as a Toronto Maple Leaf?
Yeah. Do we ever see Petr Mrazek play another game for the Leafs?
And what are the results?
So we're up to 797 votes because of Bourne's millions of followers. He retweeted it.
I should have.
That's okay.
But I don't follow you. I don't.
That would be the best.
We're at 30% of people think he will play again for the Leafs. 70% of people think he will not play again for the Leafs.
70% of people think that's the end of Petr Mrazek. So let me ask you.
Think this thing through for a second because it's not easy. It's a little complicated, but I'll get your thoughts first. What's the easy one? Yes. He's done?
Well, I did vote, and I voted that he would not play another game for the Leafs, was my vote. However, I didn't realize that you were going to actually think about this practically. I thought my knee jerk was just like, he's the end of it. But now when you think about it, he's going to want the rest of that money, and he's going to be owed $7.8 million over 2 seasons.
That's right.
There is not going to be another NHL team who's going to say, yes, we would like to pay him that money for his services, which, he doesn't play. So... I don't know. Yes, he's most likely back. I don't see how they get rid of him unless they move a pick.
It's a tough one. No question. Yeah. It's a tough one. And even if you move a pick, you have to be the receiving team to look at your owner and saying, why
are we doing this?
There's value here. Oh, he popped his groin 4 times last season, but he won't with us.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go and tell that owner?
I don't know. Yeah, you can't sell anyone on the groin thing. The only thing, I guess, is if he decides his groin can't hold up and he just doesn't want to do it. How old is Petr Mrazek?
Yeah. You got to assume at this point, is he 30?
No, he's older.
31? Right?
Petr Mrazek, age.
He's not that old.
30.
Yes.
Born in 92.
Thank you.
Wow.
So he's still young. He wants to play, but to your point, he wants his money. Now, people are starting to say they'll buy him out. No.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes. You don't want that cap casualty over the next 4 years.
What's the number?
But you gotta think strategically if you're Petr Mrazek and you don't want 2/3 of that contract. You want all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot buy a guy out who's hurt. He has to deem himself physically fit. The Leafs have to check him off. Then you can have the option of buying him out. The buyout period is a small window, I think, June to July.
Oh, this is fascinating. So
Yes.
he may want to stay hurt through July.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that means all of next year, you're guaranteed your 3.9, and you don't open it up for the Toronto Maple Leafs to buy you out.
Yeah. And if they end up buying a 1 year or whatever they want to do at that point, it's, you've got a big chunk of your money.
He can make the decision to saying, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And he's going to do that between June 29th and July 12th.
Okay.
That's the buyout period.
So
He was born on Valentine's Day, by the way, Petr Mrazek.
Oh.
He's such a lover. Anyways, continue.
thanks for that.
I have no idea. That's like useless information by Sammy.
I just had it in front of me.
When we first pitched this show or did pilots of the show, we did useful or useless as a segment, which we've gotten away from, but that would have qualified
Yes.
as a useless.
They would love him to go to Robidas Island.
Yes.
So what is, in a perfect world, if he is healthy in 6 weeks, are we talking middle of the first round? Are we talking about early second round?
Yeah, 6 weeks takes you to the middle of May, which is right when the first round should be wrapping up. So, yeah, you're looking at he'll be ready for the second round of playoffs.
I don't see any scenario where even if he got healthy, would he be in a position to back up Jack?
Well, I wonder that. Like, if Shelgren's been practicing, been on the bench for the first round, you won a playoff series, would you suddenly tap?
It wouldn't be a playoff round wouldn't be over because the last game of the season is on
29th.
the 29th of April. And then they probably would play that, they would go over and play the Wednesday after that. So the 6th is 6 weeks from now. May 6th is 6 weeks from now.
Okay.
Oh, from tomorrow, sorry. So they would probably be heading into game 2 in the first round with him.
So if he can get back a little earlier, could he potentially be ready?
That's gone well. Go ahead and getting back earlier. That's not gone well. So even if he's back healthy, like you were just alluding to, if he's back healthy-ish of some sort, but Shalgren's been backing up, he's been playing games down the stretch, I'm sorry, there's just no way you can put him onto the bench into a game that you might need him or a series that you might need him. You can't depend on it.
They're at the point where, when you had the two goalies, you thought you would start one guy, and if things went poorly, you might be able to go to the other guy. They are now at the point where they are going with Campbell until he's hurt or until it's a game where they're down 6-0 and they can't win it anyway. Like, there's no moment, I don't think, where you're saying Shelgren's our guy. It's game 2. Campbell didn't win game 1. You're going to go with Shelgren. Like, that's not an option. So we talked about Campbell not loving the pressure from the back. There's a whole new pressure that it's you or nothing.
There is probably a second buyout window, but that would have to be around salary arb, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I think if there's another year available, there might be an opportunity to buy that out.
Okay.
But that
Keep an eye on that.
It wouldn't qualify, I think, Mrazek in any scenario. That would be the only window, I think, that the June-July one. But this does leave the Leafs and Kyle Dubas very vulnerable. Mrazek was handpicked to come in and be the experienced guy for an inexperienced Jack Campbell. Now you're in the hands of Jack getting hot again like he did in the first half, but still with like zero playoff experience.
He's good
Guaranteed.
Last year he played. Campbell was a 9.25 or something.
Well, yeah,
He was actually
is that enough
very
for
good
you?
in that
Yeah.
series.
Is that enough? Unproven?
yeah.
Is that proven now?
Oh, yeah. 6.
I speak of inexperience, I mean unproven.
No, he played 6 good games. What else? What else do you need? Listen, it's dicey. We know it's dicey. It's scary, but that's what they got. They're going forward with it. Fingers crossed for Sammy and the crew.
Jack Campbell, as we said to listeners earlier, cleared to play.
Mm-hmm.
I really think if, in fact, Mrazek finishes the game in Boston and is healthy and feeling good, there could have been an opportunity for Jack to play tonight. Without Mrazek there now, is this the Leafs being overly cautious to give him one more day of rest?
Sure,
with Shalgren going in tonight.
You can't afford to rush him even a day and have him not be ready. So I also think, how much do you guys think the Leafs are playing to finish as high up the standings as they can? like I get the impression from talking to everyone, and this is not talking to anyone with the Leafs, but just people around the team, that like they're going to play a good team. They would like to have home ice, but they're not going to kill themselves for it. Case in point, the lineup tonight. I don't think they think it's their best lineup. I don't know how much you think they're killing themselves to, Källgren tonight is a great example. They're not grinding for points. They play 15 times in 30 games here. Sometimes you just have to throw a lineup out there and hope they get her done.
And like Keith said, it's not like Källgren's been bad. Källgren's been pretty good. Like, I think he's shown them enough to have some sort of confidence in
They're
him.
less nervous than they were 3 weeks ago with him.
Like, I mean, how much more faith would you have in Mrazek in the net healthy than you would Källgren? It's a toss-up.
Speaking of the lineup, we'll start on the back end first.
Okay.
Lyubushkin